ability to that of a commander, and the system requests that he specify one thought. Jinwoo firmly declares arise and unleashes his shadow summons. Second chance at life. Jinwoo is thoroughly impressed by their number, and learns that he has hit his limit for 30 summons for the time being. He can also preserve these opponent into his summoned beasts. In his army, there are 27 knights and 20 can be preserved for later use. This makes him stretch the possibilities of his shadow of an A rank or S rank hunter. Jinwoo's eyes darted towards the diff to waste away. However, first, he needs to terminate one of his summons to terminate the summoning for 11 of his summonings, returning them to the world of Nust. He wonders what would happen if he just made Igris a part of his army. A wave of shadow starts to emerge. However, the summoning gets cancelled with great resist. Failed his first shadow extraction, and has 2 more attempts remaining. This is determine their ability to be summoned, then this guy is going to be really tough to extract as a second command. Yet again, he's met with shocking resistance from the commander. His way, the hunter observes the throne. He realizes that Igris is loyal to stop serving the one who is gone and instead serve the one who is still alive. This time, the wave of shadow doesn't push him back, and Igris's body has just become the latest addition to his army. Jinwoo finds himself cringing from Igris. This shadow extraction is special, and starts at level 7 instead of the player to name the soldiers. The undead brooding knight stands before him. Jinwoo's current stats. He's made many additions to his skills, jobs, and Igris descends on his knee, showcasing his loyalty to serve his new master down to their new master. Pleased, Jinwoo is happy to fight alongside his new who has officially made it out alive. We see this guy completely dead, exhausted, and keeps ringing. Jinwoo picks it up only for his sister to shout at him for still being in bed. Time for the parent-teacher conference. Our boy experiences urgency like no that he won't be late. With his hygiene check done, Jinwoo assesses that it would trip to the local bank for an update in his bank account. The receptionist is stumped. It doesn't make sense for this kid to have so much money, so she asks about his occupation, high-ranking hunter. She even offers him to make an investment in the bank for privileged Later that day, Gina is standing with a blank expression on her face. Old brother. This guy's just got a fresh cut with a high-collared shirt, achieving like him went through so much change. Jinwoo argues that it's only ideal for Gina's classmates. The chicks are all shocked, simping for this guy. Sung Rizna release a teasing remark. She's fine with helping him find a girlfriend if he wants, early fashion. He enters the conference room to meet Gina's teacher, who immediately is even rizzing the teachers now. Jinwoo doesn't remember meeting this teacher before. She's considered a model student, so the teacher has very little concerns regarding her school. Since she's already got good test scores, the teacher hopes for her brother not to understand. The teacher goes off a different tangent regarding his hunter rank. Gina does awaken as a hunter. What would he do? Meeting it with a sharp refusal. Only brought this up because there's one other student who is looking to drop out of the school because of their the school will inevitably have to take action if her behavior continues on. Even situation. An intrigued Jinwoo asks about her ranking. Turns out this girl doomed and will be killed very soon. The teacher requests a favor from him after all. Jinwoo's help to persuade this student to finish high school before dropping out. Soon after, and she's been on a private raid with him before. The meeting ends there and Jinwoo ends. Songyi stands there asking why he's here. Songyi confronts Jinwoo, and for starters, he shows her a picture of Gina and asks if she's friends with her, to check on him. It adds to her clarity about his connection to her teacher. Songyi is adamant in her stance about not returning to the school. She's only desired E rank, so even her basic attacks won't help her overcome the stronger magical beast. And with that, it will eventually chip and shatter in its condition. This will lead to wonders if she's old enough to fight without a weapon at her disposal. He's afraid that she might. With his words, Songyi reminds him that he's also an E rank, so he shouldn't be talking girl, which reminds him of his own personality back then. He confirms having knocked to Songyi. In his mind, the hunter is planning to help her get the full experience. Jinwoo expresses that he's here to make sure she becomes an excellent hunter, but scene cuts to the Korean airport, where we see the bald-head brute finally stepping foot in Gaetian. He's here from the surveillance squad to take care of the S-rank hunter that is just right-hand man, instead of taking the crown of the association's head for himself. He maintains a cool head and asks how long he intends to stay. The arrogant dongs are long, and he'll soon be leaving right after he's done with his work. Jin country to move to the States, so stepping foot into Korea must mean he's got something serious. Points out immediately. Dongsu is impressed by the agent's ability to gather intel. A bloodlusted Dongsu laughs at the mere thought of Jinchul attempting to doing what he's been told. Dongsu grabs his shoulder, impressed by Jinchul's ability guild, who will make sure to accommodate him more than what he's being paid right now. Suspicious of his older brother, Dongsuk's various murder sprees in the dungeons because of his connection to Dongsu, a super strong S-ranker, or guilt for their violent acts. Jinchul greatly detests these people. Let's go dungeon down with Songyi. He meets Sangmin, who is the chief manager of the Hunter when looking for Jinwoo. Knowing that she's just a typical E-ranker, there isn't. Jinwoo is also a bottom ranker, so he's waiting for his expectations to be subverted for a meeting in the training grounds for new hunters. They made special arrangements for our to showcase their guild's excellent training system. The rest of the hunters have already been a notable spot for gate appearances. Just about 80% of the neighborhood is empty too, which will be their main setting for the training tour. One of the hunters is level 100 armor but have 0 skills to back it up. Jinwoo doesn't even know who their A rankers, who thinks this dungeon raid is going to be a child's play because discussing their team formation, their squad is composed of an A ranker pair. Sangmin knows that adding high-level hunters for a C-rank raid seems like over to the guild that they're taking the risk for experience. Still, Jinwoo thinks it easily. At the same time, he wonders if this will allow Songyi's eyes to openless E-ranker. Before going in, Jinwoo is told to stay on the side instead of all by himself and ruin the training. Songyi is excited to go. Until Jinwoo experiences a strange feeling the moment he steps halfway inside. Sangmin. The overall structure of the gate is reacting harshly, which shouldn't be the need to escape as fast as they can. The gate begins to close as Jinwoo roars. Jinwoo is sucked inside, leaving the chief manager wondering what they should do. Sangmin attempts to contact the guildmaster. Talks of a red gate shocks basic C-rank gate. The situation has gone out of control, so the S-rank going on. Dongsu's on his way in a pristine Mercedes that even earns his co since his running speed is much faster than the car. It's funny because Jinchul is... Anyway, he wants to know what became of his brother's funeral. The agent explains if he wants his mortuary. Dongsu doesn't care about the dead and only wants to Jinchul is told to locate the nearest dungeon for him so that he can run into the pathetic hunters on his hate them when there are a ton of dungeons opening all around Korea. Dongsu doesn't think he has already tracked Jinwoo's location in the dungeon. The S-ranker effect to deal with. Since normal laws of society don't even apply inside, very much wants to bury the two inside. Jinchul can do nothing but accept his words in a chilly dungeon, which barely resembles one. The hunters are worried since their vicious movement in the surrounding area. There isn't anything threatening so far. Even Songyi has picked up that something is wrong. Suddenly 2 sharp projectile arrow just inches away from Songyi's face. The second arrow pierces the situation has turned for the worse as they're being shot from afar. Up in the trees sense their presence nearby, since they were hunting them from far away. Only themselves. In reality the hunters have a more sinister name for them. The name was designated for their brutal killing methods. The Ice Slayers. Meanwhile, not even he can get past the closed gate. Knowing that it's a C-rank gate, unfortunately they can do nothing but mention that it was just a C-rank gate. Accords are notorious for appearing in high-level dungeons. There's an entire dimension beyond the energy waves alone. Yunho is certain that this gate is B-rank at the minimum. Unfortunately they won't even be able to gauge its strength anymore. Since Red Gate, they have no proper way of testing the gate's integrity. Yunho learns that they're Chul as their leader. There's 1 A rank and 7 B ranks in the team. Is put in a state of emergency. Which means it can't be that. That leaves us with even in that case, they require a minimum of 4 A rank hunters to safely complete it. Rankers or 1 S ranker to finish the job. In short, in the sheer possum will die inside. The only survivors might be the high-ranking hunters but that another hunter entering inside. A hunter that he's been observing for a while. Rank is A rank or B rank. The man shakes his head, denying both possible S rank hunter to go with the recruits. But that's also not the case. At last, and while it isn't shown here, I'm pretty sure Yunho fainted after hearing that. Back, Jinwoo recognizes the intelligence of the monsters who are intentionally taking down from 2 months ago, then he would have been their target. The ice elf provokes implication. The elves quickly dash away but Jinwoo is hell-bent on punching the shit about their situation with the red gate. It means that the dungeon won't be cleared until further about the red gate, causing Jinwoo to explain how this kind of gate is responsible for gate server's connection from the outside world completely, which means they're stuck near the dungeon. Kim Chol-ri introduces himself as an A ranker and takes charge of them that they'll have to wait for months until the dungeon breaks them free, and there's no red gates are usually deemed a minimum at a B rank level. That means it will be tough to manage. Shocking announcement that he's going to create a dungeon clearance team to separate from the rest of Chul proceeds to remind them about the ice elves. The A ranker is fine with clearing. As expected, a whole bunch of hunters decide to join his separate party to clear the dungeon. What's surprising is that this guy forcefully pushed out any of the desires B rankers to come with him and expressed that spending a day inside the Red Gate could seriously take them months to finish the boss. For those reasons he just can't. If the lower ranked hunters are provoked by their words. After all, they were just labeled reason to be upset, as they can all safely make it out if they're alive by the time they clear. Joining his group, a lady with green eyes expresses her desire to travel with the other pair up with weaklings. He can't figure her out, but invites one more member to join Wu and talks about how their top-ranking hunter couldn't even spot the arrow that was shot. So she's confident that he's stronger than his rank implies. Outside the dungeon, Yunho is in disbelief and asks if he's speculating or certain. Choosing not to believe in speculation, Yunho rests his faith on their only A valence team is confident in Chul's ability to handle this threat. The man has are no joke. Hearing that, Yunho is relieved to a small extent. That's why Yunho is hoping to God that Kim Chol pulls through with a strike team shit about the reawakened E-rank hunter. Sangmin doesn't respond to him, and it's none other than the murderous dickhead. Dongsu certainly wasn't expecting to run. Seeing him here makes Yunho's blood boil. Even the managers are shocked to see this. Dongsu keeps his objectives to himself and claims that he's just on some business tour. Just why he's in Korea when he's supposed to be in the States. On the contrary, Dongsu is an E-rank loser with nothing to show for himself. Of course, since he's getting at. Dongsu reveals that it's Jinwoo he is referring to, who inspects the Red Gate, realizing what's going on. We circle back to Jinwoo able to maintain their calm in a situation like this. The B-ranker explains the dungeon raid. Kim Chol's special training helps him pave a path to join the guild's split off. One will follow a path and the other has decided to venture into the forest. Jinwoo takes his group to the forest. After walking for a while, the B-ranker plays it pretty dismissively and acts like he's unsure of the mystery of his own rank, an A-rank hunter. And if her luck is right, even higher. Let's are idiots for venturing into the forest. It is known to be a dangerous territory due to the foolish decisions of one E-rank hunter. At the same time, and likely didn't even go through any reasonable training. But then something bothered his group and he still for some reason assumed that he was their leader, despite the difference in dead meat for the time being. Raising his battle axe, the warrior readies for outside. Dongsu is a little impressed by Jinwoo covering his tracks. Everyone is so fixated on this guy. Inside the Red Gate, the first ice, but the defensive capabilities of the shield are so strong that it tears apart the creature. This man single-handedly bulldozed his way through a bunch of ice bears like they were glad that he's able to manage this much as their leader. The rest of them think it's a good idea, good start to them, but Kim Chol is serious about his point and doesn't want to lower their. He's the only person among the group strong enough to take them on in the first place. And up at once. She points towards the territorial markings of dangerous predators. Only danger ahead. Jinwoo takes a breath and asks to confirm if what she's saying urges them to go back. However, this man doesn't look to turn away. The forest. It's a dangerous call, but Jinwoo has his own reasons. He thinks now, instead of getting trapped with the intelligent ice elves, it hits her now that his bet is to deal with the bears, instead of targeting even stronger magical beasts. From his inventory, he takes out a warm coat and gives it to her so she doesn't immensely, as his inventory showcases the use of spatial magic. To question his identity, even Songyi can't place a finger on this guy. Jinwoo to protect her. In return, he doesn't want her to ask any questions. The same them to keep quiet and don't expect anything special from him. Out of nowhere, a danger worried to hell because even these monsters are high-ranking beasts. Their regret to sacrifice her own life as a decoy until Jinwoo yanks her away, emphasizing being overly arrogant despite his strength. However, Jinwoo's attention is to Wolf Assassin to increase his fighting stats by 40%. The ice bear attempts to leap up in the air as if he were light as a feather. Charging a really powerful fist, ends. His punch descends with a thunderous smack on the creature's head. Crush strength leaves his allies speechless. They can't believe that he beat a creature like higher experience points by beating high-ranking monsters. We cut back to Dongsu why he's here for Jinwoo. Yunho reminds him that there's nothing that can happen in a dangerous environment inside. It's easier to assume that they're all gonna die in self. At the same time, he really isn't the type to just wait around patiently. Thinks that Sung Jinwoo's luck is becoming his saving grace right now. What's left is for them to survive the harshness of the dungeon. Well, the exact opposite. Songyi wants to know about Gina's routine at home and wonders if she's a superhero no different from any other student. She's just a sleepyhead who happens to fancy fried with a routine like that. It's something not even Jinwoo can comprehend, as even back in for the ice bears, they're getting less noticeable with Jinwoo utterly destroying them just eaten. It's really surprising to them that he's choosing to work out in this kind of truck with a penalty. As he's working out, he thinks it would be silly to leave his team behind. Finished, he thinks it's time to continue his hunt. There's a cave nearby. Team up. It's here that he chooses to command the use of his army for the first time in action. Soldiers ready to fight. The hunter commands them to hunt. The ice bears shadow soldiers in their way. One swoop of their hand is enough to defeat the knights. Use powerful fire magic. The knights have excellent regeneration too. But off, they're immortal as long as they consume his mana. Among the ice bears, Guy as the leader of the pack. This one is so powerful that it annihilates Jin down to 0. His soldiers can no longer regenerate. So for this occasion, Igris readies his longsword and makes a forward.